It's time for NRCS Party Line today for your Friday, May the 1st, May Day 2015. May the 1st here, and we've got some partly sunny skies developing out there. Had some rain showers. Now things are getting a little lighter out there. We've got a temp of 53 degrees, and for this Friday, an NRCS Party Line today, which is brought to you by CHI Albany Area Health, Wimmer Opticians of St. Cloud, Atlas Chiropractic of Waite Park, and the offices of the Central Minnesota Credit Union. We've got Dennis Fuchs in studio, administrator with the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District, and from the NRCS, we have in studio Mike Hemmann. He is the civil engineer technician. Dennis and Mike, good morning to both of you.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
How are things going, gentlemen?
Very good.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Mike, I see you're ready to try out for some maybe some sports teams here in the area, possibly. Or,
go Vikes!
Yeah, go
Vikings!
Yeah,
go Wild!
Supporting the Vikings today. Got the jersey on and
supporting the
ready for the draft. Yeah.
Are you a diehard Vikings fan, or are you just kind of?
Nope, I'm a diehard.
Diehard.
Yep, bleed purple.
Even with the drama and all that other good stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, got to bleed the purple.
Look at this dedicated man right here.
He is. Not only with football, but also when it comes to working in the office.
Oh, what a great transition, Dennis. Thanks. Appreciate that. Did my job for me right there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help out.
Well, let's talk. Since Mike is, you're not a newbie. I was going to say you're the new guy here on the air, but you're not new as far as NRCS is concerned.
No, I've been in the office here for 15 years, and it's been a great 15 years, and hopefully get some more underneath the belt. And I've been with the Chippewa Soil and Water prior to coming to NRCS. I was out there for 2 to 2.5 years out in Montevideo as a technician out there. So. And
where were you before that?
I actually was an intern here at the Stearns SWCD. So yeah, it's been a great ride, and it's been fun.
I think Dennis was leading with that question there, trying to get you to admit something. Maybe.
Yeah, that's where you got some good training.
Yeah, it was good.
From
Dennis himself. Yeah.
Well, or Steve Sell now, some of the folks in the office. But yeah, Mike's been around for quite some time and a great addition to the team. And he said he'd like to come on the air and visit with the farmers about some of the energy programs that are out there through the USDA NRCS programs. And I said, well, yeah, that's a good idea. That's something that we really haven't touched on here in the office or on radio. So if you want to come on the air and talk, Mike, you go right ahead.
But wait, Dennis, I have a question before that.
What is it?
I was going to ask him to define what a civil engineer technician does besides what we're going to talk about today.
Good question.
Some of the duties that I do is more of the survey, design, and construction inspection of conservation practices, such as grass waterways, water and sediment control basins, waste storage facilities for storing manure. Those are kind of the big three that I deal with. I'm also in charge of Meeker and Kandiyohi County also, so I do a lot of the engineering work down there too. So, yeah, it's busy. It's really busy.
How does that work when you're doing stuff outside the county and like in Meeker, like you said? How do they? Are you an independent contractor, or what do you consider?
No, what they do is it's kind of the same approach. What we do here in Stearns is a landowner will come into the office and say, hey, I've got a problem, I've got an issue here that I'd like you to look at. And so then we'll go out there and take a look at it, and then kind of shoot some ballpark solutions to the problem there, and then we'll go out and survey it up, and then come up with a plan for him on what he wants to do. And then we'll shoot him a cost estimate and show him what he'll get for financial assistance through the EQIP program, which is the Environmental Qualities Incentives Program. And then we'll see if we're in the ballpark or not as far as trying to get that on the ground.
So you got to keep up with a lot of rules and regulations and budget stuff. And
a lot of budget stuff, there are some rules and regulations there with MPCA and stuff that we have to keep up with. But it's fun, and I really enjoy what I'm doing.
So now back to the topic Dennis brought up, which would be the energy part of it.
Yeah, well, I was just going to add a little bit to what Mike does out in the field. When he's out there implementing and helping the farmer and the contractor implement and construct the practice, one of the big things that Mike is there is to make sure that the engineered design is built the way it was designed. So he's out there taking measurements to make sure the tile is put at the right depth, making sure that the berms are at the right height, and all the slopes are done at the right level. And it's a lot of work to do this. And he's got a great working relationship with our contractors and the landowners out there. We got a lot of landowners out there that ask for Mike to do the project. So just a great way of working together to solve our problems here in Stearns County, and then in the other counties that Mike is working in too. So I'll let him take it away now with this energy, and hopefully he'll electrify your audience.
I just wanted to touch on it, I guess. It's just another something there that we can provide financial assistance for is to do some energy improvements out on your farm. One thing is they'd first need to come into the office and request that assistance, and then we would have a private firm come out there and do a energy audit out on their farm, and they have to meet certain standards and specifications there to have that completed. And what that basically is just doing a general overview of the whole farm. They just can't focus on one particular thing. So what they do is they'd look at your lighting, they'd look at all your motors, all your drives, plate coolers, all that kind of stuff there to make sure everything was up to snuff. And if it wasn't, if they found any deficiencies, then you could come in and receive financial assistance to make those upgrades. So you'd have to hire someone on that technical service provider list. There's probably about 13 individuals that are on that list that you can choose from and go out and solicit someone to complete that audit for you. And then once they completed the audit, then we could sign up for those improvements. And what's really nice about that is you can pick and choose the improvements that you want to do. So if they find out that there's 4 or 5 deficiencies out on your farm, let's say that you only want to do 1 or 2 of those, you can do that. And so it gives us kind of a little freedom there to only do what you want to do. The other thing too is if you wanted to do all 5 and you're just like, hey, Mike, it just seems like it's a lot of money to do all that, the Environmental Quality Incentive Program allows you to split that up. So you could do a couple of those improvements one year and then come back the next year and then do a couple more, and then the following year a couple more. So it's kind of a good way to break things up there a little bit and still get to where you want to be in the long run.
We've got about a minute before I got to take a break, Mike, but you've got 13 people or 13 organizations that qualify to do the audit, you said? Yep. That's out of pocket from the farmer's perspective?
Nope. There's financial assistance to have that audit completed, and it's just a flat rate. So whether they charge $2,000 or $5, you're going to get a certain dollar amount to have that audit completed. So there is financial assistance available for that, and then for the improvements also.
Okay. If we have any questions for our guests this morning, both Dennis Fuchs and Mike Hemmann, give us a call. Our numbers are 320-845-2184. That's 320-845-2184 or 1-800-950-2148, 1-800-950-2148. Got to take a break for some markets and news and weather, and then we'll be back with more Answers Putty Line here with our guest this morning. It's 9:30. We got some partial sun, 53 degrees, and aiming for a high temp today of about 70. maybe 80 for your high tomorrow. News Information Chasm Radio.
Minnesota News Network, I'm Annette Weston. A Minnesota lawmaker's bill meant to make
Even Saturday and Sunday until 6. Just call your local store for assistance. We are committed to helping you get the seed in the ground this spring planting season. For more info, call or visit MidwestMachineryCO.com. Midwest Machinery Company, your John Deere dealer in central Minnesota. Midwest Machinery brought you your market update from Brownfield Ag News as we continue Answer's Party Line today with our guests. First off, Dennis Fuchs from the Soil and Water Conservation District. Also, we've got Mike Hemmann. He's the Civil Engineer Technician at the Natural Resources Conservation Service. And we were talking before we went into the break, Mike, about energy audits. Who should be qualified or think about having these audits done?
Any farmer that is in Stearns County or any other county could come into their local office and look for financial assistance to get this completed. Another thing I wanted to touch on is not only are livestock producers eligible for these energy audits, but also guys that have irrigation systems are also eligible for doing an upgrade on their irrigation system, as far as going from a diesel engine motor to variable frequency drives on that irrigation system. So it's just not only for livestock producers. We've had quite a bit of interest here in Stearns County so far on these energy audits and doing some of the improvements. I have visited with a couple of these producers, and they're seeing quite a bit of savings as far as on their electric bill. So the payback period on this is a fairly short distance, or a short time frame, I should say, and then it's all gravy train after that, as far as you can use that money for other things than the money that you're saving. So it's kind of a good deal, for these guys. So if you're interested in doing that, come and see me at the office, and I'll be more than happy to go through things with you, and then we can see if we want to sign you up or not.
Mike, Dennis, did you have a question or anything?
Well, I was just going to ask, Mike, what are the, give us the listener some common things that a farmer would do to save energy?
The biggest thing as far as for livestock producers is doing a conversion on the lighting. A lot of them have the T8s and T12s lighting systems, and then they're going to LED type lighting. That's the biggest thing that I'm seeing as far as that producers are interested in. The other things that they've inquired about are water heaters, going to a more efficient water heater, plate coolers, also a heat recovery system where they can get some of that heat recovered from a compressor to help preheat that water, and takes less energy, less gas to do that. So there's quite a bit of items that you can get financial assistance on to make those improvements. So those are just a couple of things that I've seen a lot of interest in as of right now.
So then how do you know where to take it realistically as far as energy savings and doing these things to help save energy, and then where do you stop? I mean, you can go all out and save a whole bunch of energy, but that's not always practical. How do you know where to stop and go from there?
That's just like what I said before, that's the nice thing about doing this practice is that you can pick and choose what you want to do. So if there's a particular payback period that it looks like it might be quite a few years out there that you would never see that payback, then you don't need to do that practice if you don't want to, but a lot of the guys are doing the lighting and some of the other things that have a short payback period for them. So that's where we're at there.
And Mike, the energy audit, it identifies areas where you can have the greatest savings or where you have the most inefficient electrical problems on your farm, right?
Right.
And so that kind of sets you up to, okay, maybe I don't want to worry about this, but I want to change my lighting in where I got the freestyle barn or something like that.
Yep, correct. You can pick and choose those practices, and then if you do want to do everything that's listed in the audit, then you can spread that out, through a couple of years of receiving financial assistance through the EQIP program. The one thing about that is the way you're found eligible for these improvements is by energy saved. So we want to make sure that we're doing enough to hopefully get yourself into the position where you can get a EQIP contract, but yet on the same token, I don't want to have you do something that you're not really interested in to just get a EQIP contract. So it's we want to make sure you're doing enough to get that, but yet on the same token, I don't want to have something that there's a payback period of 30 years and then you'll never see that payback come back to you. So,
Dennis and Michael, have you slip on those headphones? We do have a caller that would like to address something here on the air. Can everybody hear okay, the headphones? Good. We're good to go. Mike, you okay? You can hear okay?
Yep.
Perfect.
I think so.
Let's go to the phone line and check in with our caller. Hi, you're on Chasm Radio. What's your question or comment for Dennis and Mike today?
Hi, they were talking about switching over to the LED lights. Is there any kind of research with LED? I know at first, they used to, or I shouldn't say at first, but at one time they said everybody should switch to these fluorescent lights. And then they found out, no, that wasn't so good. Do they have any concerns with the LED lights, or not necessarily, or do they know anything about that?
I guess I have not seen any research that's out there as far as for which way one's better than the other. So I guess I would have to do a little bit more on that if to determine what is a better lighting system there for you.
And she's right. I know the compact fluorescent lights were definitely more energy efficient, but when you had to dispose of them, they had mercury and other toxic compounds that had to be handled differently, which actually increased the cost of disposal. Right. So I think the LEDs are a step above, and they last longer. There's not as much toxic components in the development of the actual lighting product. So they have made improvements, are a little bit more aware now, too, that it's not just energy savings, but we have to dispose of these products in a way that's not going to impact our environment also. So LEDs are the next generation of energy efficiency.
What was your follow-up question, caller?
What was but there was something with that the LED lights or the fluorescent lights were bad for, well, for one thing, the human to be working under LED or under fluorescence all the time. That was, I don't know what it was, but it made you crabby, more or less, I thought.
Well,
and then I thought they said also there was something about with the cattle, that it wasn't as best for the cattle as what they originally thought it would be.
I don't know of any research about that, just observations here coming to Chasm and working with Brad.
With these fluorescent lights here, yes.
Yeah,
I feel a little irritable right now.
He gets a little irritable on those fluorescent lights, is that it? Okay.
Thank you for your call.
And,
go ahead.
Brad,
yeah.
If you don't mind, I'd like to invite your listeners to that Aubriella's fundraiser.
Oh, sure, yeah, do a quick plug.
Okay, St. Francis of Assisi is having a benefit for Aubriella. She is an almost 6-month-old daughter of Mike and Mary from our parish, and she has SMA, help me with this, Brad. Spinal muscular...
atrophy.
Atrophy.
Yeah.
And so from 8:30 until noon, we're serving a big breakfast of scrambled eggs and hash brown bake and wonderful sausage from Paul and Kathy's, which the Men's Society is famous for using. We have something else, too, and I don't remember what it is.
Bake sale and silent auction.
Pancakes, yep, and silent auction. Right now we have over 20 items for the silent auction, from something that shouldn't be too expensive to other things that maybe you'd like to bid a lot on. Bake sale, everything is free will that day.
St. Francis of Assisi.
St. Francis of Assisi, come out and help us. This is a terminal illness, and as Mike and Brad and Bob talked about earlier in the week, or last week, that really a devastating disease.
All right.
But we hope to just help them along with their journey so that it isn't so bad financially for them.
What day is that?
On Sunday.
May 3rd.
This coming Sunday, May 3rd.
All right. Thank you.
We do have an 8 o'clock Mass that morning, but breakfast does start at 8:30.
Great. Thanks so much.
Come on down, take a look, and thank you for answering my questions.
You bet. Thank you much. All right.
Bye.
All right. Here on NRCS Party Line. So, little concern about the LED fluorescent light, that kind of thing, but you haven't heard anything significant about that?
No.
Okay.
No, I have not.
All right.
Well, we're talking about energy, and Mike, would you like to cover any more items with the listeners on energy?
No, I guess if they have some more detailed questions or whatever, they can definitely stop into the office anytime, and I'd be more than happy to help them out and answer those questions for them.
Go ahead, Dennis.
I was just going to say that's the USDA Service Center located in Wade Park, 110 2nd Street, South Marketplace Mall, right next to Pizza Ranch.
And FSA there. We're right next to FSA.
That's correct.
The assistance you said, Mike, are there deadlines as far as when to apply for that assistance?
Right now, we just went through our 2015 EQIP sign-up here. So we're heading into the new 2016 EQIP sign-up. So we haven't been told of any deadlines as of right now. So just the next time they're in St. Cloud or they're coming over to FSA, just stop on over and we can get those questions answered.
All right. Dennis, you had something there.
Yeah, well, I was going to transition from energy to tillage. I've been seeing a lot of tillage out there starting last fall, and it's just another way of saving energy or fuel by reducing your passes across the field. And these are some of the things I've observed. We're seeing some moldboard plowing occurring in the fall, and then maybe some secondary tillage with a field cultivator or disc. Then we're seeing farmers come out in the spring and making typically 2 passes with a field cultivator, and then planting, and then rolling the field. And what we're ending up with is something as smooth as a baby's butt out there, just set up for soil loss. And we really need to start looking at this differently out there. We can leave some crop residue on the surface. It's not going to impact your yield. It's going to actually enhance your soil health and improve your soil condition so that when we do get large rainfall events, it's going to allow it to infiltrate in your soil. Your soil will have enough organic matter to actually hold that water and provide it to your crop when it does get drier in the year. So we just really need to start looking at this, and I can't believe how these rollers have taken off out there. It's like
it's because of your conversation we had on the air, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's directly related to that.
But I wanted to share with the listeners rethink tolerable soil loss on your corn and soybean fields. This is from a guy, Dr. Rick Cruz, agronomy professor with Iowa State University, Iowa. I know we don't have this research going on in Minnesota, so we got to use Iowa research. But he says we need to rethink what we're doing. In some areas, we must have perennial cover. And in Iowa, they're finding out that even no-till is not getting the job done. And you look at what's happening here in Stearns County, I mean, no-till you hardly ever see unless it's in alfalfa. And otherwise, we're seeing a maximum tillage on most of our acreage. And what we see here is, Rick says, Dr. Cruz, in one period between April 1st and June 20th, 2008, we had 18,000 pounds of sediment per acre flow through zero cover watersheds versus only 400 pounds with 10% grass cover. That's 18,000 pounds versus 400 pounds. The difference between the two, 10% grass cover. So you start looking at this over a period of time, and he gave a talk here in Paynesville at our Certified Crop Advisor Update where we're trying to share our soil water conservation management strategies with crop advisors that work at local elevators to make sure that they know what's the latest and greatest. But he was saying they've used the best research and science available to determine how much soil loss has occurred within the last 100 years. And according to their estimates, just sheet and rill, so this does not even include gully erosion where you can't break that up with normal tillage. they're looking at 7 inches of soil loss in the last 100 years. And he thought that had a greater influence on what we're seeing as far as drainage. We lose that water holding capacity, fill in the depressional areas with the soil so that we have less water storage. That has a bigger influence than all the tile drainage that we've seen coming and installed in the Midwest for the last decade. So you start putting all this stuff together, we're really shooting ourselves in the foot by not controlling erosion and improving soil health. And it's something that each and every one of us have to think about how we can make improvements. I think most of the listeners probably saw or heard the governor and the MPCA commissioner come out, John Linkstein, about the water quality in the southern half of Minnesota. We've got excessive sediment and nutrients, and it's not swimmable or fishable, and it's going to take 30 years to improve these systems, given what we're doing today. And we can improve these systems much quicker if we start putting in just a little bit of perennial in some of these sensitive areas and start minimizing some of our tillage out there. And I think we can start doing it right here in Stearns County and lead the rest of central Minnesota and show them how it's done. And speaking of that, Brad Wenz in our office is working on a tillage tour. He's going to be doing this in the middle of June before we get much of a crop canopy. And we're going to visit some farmers in Stearns County that have implemented crop residue management strategies. We're going to visit some folks that have went into a minimal till type of situation where they maybe just chisel plow and plant directly into that. We're going to visit a strip till farmer where they just have narrow bands where they disturb the soil within that narrow band, and even a no-till farmer here in the county. And we're going to visit these farmers, and it's not going to be me talking to you. It's going to be the farmers talking to the farmers. And I think that's the best way to get it. You know, you don't need a person that says, "Hi, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help."
That was, you had me convinced there for a moment. I was like, wow, who are you again?
But so we're going to actually have the farmers visit with the farmers about how they have implemented their strategies on their farms, on their soil. So we're going to see a variety of soil types. And Stearns County is blessed with a wide variety of soils, everything from the sandy, coarse textured soils that are irrigated to the heavy clay loams that need to be tile drained. And we're going to visit each and every one of these sites. And it's going to be in the middle of June. And I hope to be on the radio with Brad before that happens, the first week of June. And I'll be visiting with you the first week of June. The actual tour, we're identifying a date right now, but it'll be the middle of June when that happens. And we'll really work with Kaz and make sure the listeners can be out there. So think about that when you're out there doing all this tillage. We got to do what we can to protect our soil, and I'm just waiting for the day this spring when we're going to have a 2-inch rainfall event in an hour, and we're going to see soil movement like we've never seen it again. And then we're going to say to ourselves, wow, that was just a rare occasion. That won't happen again. I just want to remind everybody, last year on our Discovery Farm south of Sauk Center, we had 4.6 inches in 1 hour and had more soil loss there than we care to talk about. And that it not only influences yield for this year, but for the next couple generations. So come on, people. We need to work on solving this problem. We can work on it together, and let's get it done. Okay, Brad, I'm going to get off my tillage.
I was going to play some marching song music here, patriotic music, but
okay. I was thinking of Bill Murray's Stripes.
That would have worked. That would have worked.
I wanted to quickly cover a program for women landowners. What we have discovered is that there's more and more women landowners out there. Their spouses died or moved on, and they own the land now and have renters and are concerned about how to best manage that. And working with women is different than working with men. And that's something that I've realized when I'm married now, that,
Can I learn
we're
that?
from Mars and they're from Venus.
Sure.
So they've got a special woman landowner, farmland owner workshop, Women Caring for the Land. And these workshops are designed to provide information on conservation options and connect you with local resources, as well as introduce you to other women landowners. It's great to have a network of friends that you can bounce questions off. And these workshops are free. They're going to run from 8:30 to 3 p.m. and include lunch. Woo-hoo! I love food. The mornings are scheduled, the morning schedule includes introductions to each other, so you get a chance to see and meet your fellow women landowners. And then you also get to meet the conservation professionals and discuss local programs and resources. And then after lunch, they're going to hop on a bus and visit some of the local farms to see how they are caring for the land. And they've got it at several sites now. And they include Cold Spring, and that'll be Wednesday, March 20th at the Frogtown Park Pavilion. And then Thursday, May 21st, and that'll be at Melrose at the Melrose City Center. And then Friday, May 22nd, down in Wright County at the Buffalo at Wild Marsh. I think that's the golf course there in Buffalo. And because of limited space, please register by contacting Megan Herbst at our office at 320-251-7800, and we're at extension 3. And once again, it's Megan Herbst at 320-251-7800, extension 3. And you can feel free to bring a friend or invite another woman landowner to the program. And once again, it's Wednesday, May 20th at Cold Spring at Frogtown Park, Thursday, May 21st at Melrose City Center, and Friday, May 22nd at Buffalo at Wild Marsh Sporting Clays. That's owned by Santiago. The golf course. Yeah, thank you. All right, Brad, that's about all I have today to share with the listeners, and I hope all the listeners get to that benefit and then take advantage of a Stearns County baseball game afterwards and cheer the Lake Henry Lakers on. I'm sure they're going to the state again this year. They're so fantastic. And the rest of you guys, that's just too bad. Meow.
Dennis Fuchs, SWCD. Also, Dennis, Mike Hemmann from NRCS. Thanks for joining us today. Do appreciate it. A couple minutes before 10, we'll have news and more coming up.